For more information on today's program, contact Erica Taylor Montgomery at threegirlsmedia.com. Now, back to Punch, Media and Marketing Made Easy on the Bay Area's business leader, AM 1220 KDOW.
You're listening to Punch, Media and Marketing Made Easy on 1220 AM KDOW, where we help you deliver a total knockout with your PR, marketing, social media, and more. I'm your host, Erica Taylor Montgomery, and if you have questions about our topic this morning, which is how to build your brand, you can give us a call toll-free, 800-516-1220. That's 800-516-1220 if you have questions about how to build your brand. Our guest is Ed Roach with The Branding Experts, and you can find Ed at www.thebrandingexperts.ca. Again, that's thebrandingexperts.ca. So, Ed, let's talk a little bit about how somebody can build awareness of their brand, both online and off.
Okay, beautiful. Let's start with online. Now, online is, of course, everybody's favorite. There's absolutely no cost to it. It's all effort. It's all effort. My number one way is blogging. Blogging is huge in my realm. I've been doing it now myself for about 7 years, and I found that it just gets me leads. It gets me notoriety outside of my marketplace. That job you mentioned in Tanzania, I got that from blogging. And they find you, and it's really nice. So it opens up your market. You don't have to just, like for instance with your customers, they don't have to just get business within the San Francisco Bay Area. They can get it anywhere in the world. And what's really nice is the web allows you to really control what you do. So that's one way of doing it. LinkedIn is another great place to be. You got to be, all businesses in my mind must be on LinkedIn. It's just a great resource that has a place for your profile. All of these efforts that we're doing is all to do with Google searches and all the rest of it, and it gives you a really good position that way. Now, also things that I would do is, for instance, with blogging, there's a trick I use to get leads. My blog itself doesn't get me a lot of action. What I do is I went out there early on and I found bigger blogs, and the biggest one I found for branding was Small Business Branding. They had like 50,000 readers a month. So what I ended up doing there was becoming a writer for them, and essentially I leveraged their audience, and then they come back to me to check me out. So that's one way of doing it, because otherwise, if your readers started blogging, let's say tomorrow, they would have virtually no audience, and they're talking to the wall at first. So to me, it's better to go out there and start building relationships online, talking to people, leaving comments and blogs that you really like. Like LinkedIn has a really good area for this. And you can start to develop your brand that way, and people start to get to know you as a leader, a thought leader. And you're building your expert profile. So everything you do builds that expert profile. So for me, that's number one. The next thing I do is all of my strategies online, and often in a lot of cases, is to build my mailing list, my list online that I can market to. So everything I do, like today, through my blogging, through writing letters and guest posting, doing interviews, all of it is to lead people back to my website so that they'll sign up for my weekly branding tips. So every Wednesday at 11 o'clock, I send out these weekly branding tips, and people just get to know me. Even if they don't open the email, my name is in the subject line. So they get exposed to my name in that way. So I send out to several thousand companies every week, and this builds me leads. That's all part of building your brand. And I'm trying to do this very consistently in everything I do. So if you go to my website, you'll see all of my elements that I use. They all are very consistent in look and in tone. Again, just to establish my brand of a thought leader. And this is relatively easy to do. It just takes a ton of effort. I won't lie to your listeners. It's a ton of effort. People actually had a small business the other day ask me just that question. They watch what I've been doing and they follow me, and they said, Ed, I can't get over how much you do. Like, do you really think it works? And I said, well, it absolutely does work, but you really have to focus on it. You cannot give it up. It's no different than listening to your show, Erica. People, if they stop listening, they're going to stop getting tips.
Sure.
It's the old line. If you do nothing, I'll guarantee you nothing will happen.
Absolutely.
So it's the same game. So offline, it's much the same thing again. Offline, what I do, and again in your area, I would suggest the same thing. To build your brand locally, you want to establish what you want your brand to stand for, and then start going out to make that happen. So you start getting involved with networking groups. You start volunteering within your community. You start becoming the go-to person in your community for for information on that particular topic. So it's up to you to determine this. Speaking engagements, that's a beautiful one. I mean, that's one of my favorites. You get to go out there, you talk directly to your audience. You can think on your feet because they ask you questions at the end, and you're able to supply really good information, great value right away. People will not question your expertise so long as you look confident and you position yourself very professionally. I'm doing a nice gig in Washington, in Chicago in October to the Athena Group, and this is a large female business organization, and we're talking about this exact topic. It's just so much fun. Like, I find branding a real blast. It's a lot of fun to deal with small business because they all have problems that are really close to home and are solvable. And it's up to you, again, like we said earlier, to define your own brand. Who do you want your brand? What do you want your brand to stand for? And it's a very doable process. I was saying offline, I don't do much traditional marketing myself because I find that doesn't work for me. I find hands-on works so much better. Like I say, the networking is huge. I do really good locally networking. And it's very straightforward. I even have like if you were to see me, I walk into a room and I'm wearing all of black and I have my logo on my lapel and I have a really nice shirt. It's not a golf shirt, but it's a really nice dress shirt that I had this put on. So again, it establishes a certain feel and look. After a while, you get known for that. You may know in your own community there are certain people, certain individuals who stand out in the crowd, and
Sure.
they stand out for a reason. They don't have to say a word. But it could be, I'll give you an example. In our community, there was one business lady over the years, now she's long retired now, but she was well known for wearing lime green every time you saw her. And whenever you saw Lenore, she's the lady in the lime green. And she just got known for it, and she never stopped doing it. So I'm much the same way. I'm following along that line in that regard, is I'm wearing a certain look, a certain feel. When I talk to people, I don't spend all my time talking about me. I spend all of my time talking about them. Well, how can I help them? One of my rules of thumb for networking is I never hand out a business card unless I'm asked for one. And these are all strategies to make something more valuable, to again stand out.
I think that's so important. And, you mentioned some great techniques for offline marketing, including networking. And I think that's so important and something that so many business executives, entrepreneurs, and small business owners fail to do. And it's one of the best ways that you can really start to get known on a local basis is by getting out there and networking. And then that, ultimately could lead to speaking engagements if you ask for them. I just did 3 engagements this past week, and they work wonderfully for me in my business and branding 3 Girls Media and Marketing. And I find inevitably that my speaking engagements lead to consultations, which in turn lead to closed business. So exactly. A great way to go to build your brand is getting out there and networking and then begin those speaking engagements. So,
yes, sorry, Erica. It's also a long-term strategy. That's the good thing too about them in some ways, is that you're building relationships with whoever you talk to. And it's so much nicer to get out of your office and start doing this. The one thing about the Internet that I hate is that the Internet eliminates that personal contact.
Right.
People become very lazy with email. Instead of one of the techniques I'll use is I get my butt out in front of customers and potential customers instead of emailing them. Let's say I'm having to send them a report or something. Instead of just emailing it, which is fine with them, I purposely get in front of them, get out to their offices, and present the report directly in person, strictly because I don't want to be, again, turned into a commodity over an email. I want a personal contact. Now, again, that involves shoe leather to pavement, but you'll find more times than not that you'll get more business that way. It's even if you're just a retailer, you'll find that things you do on the shop floor, the Internet allows us to do things easier. But getting out there and meeting your customers and talking to them and finding out what they're looking for and how they feel about you, doing surveys will people, if you went out of business tonight, would people miss you? That's a key question. One of the other things I recommend businesses to do to look at their brands is next time, tomorrow morning, for instance, this is Saturday, so on Monday morning, you go into your business, the first person you see, whether it's an employee, a customer, or a supplier, say to them, what do we do here? And listen to their answer. And if their answer isn't what you want to hear, you've got yourself a branding problem. And that's a good sort of a litmus test to see what's up, because a lot of times even your own employees have a sense of what you do because of how they deal with your company. But it may not be the answer you want them to say. If they go to a church, let's say tomorrow they go to a church picnic and somebody says, well, what do you do over there at ABC Company? you want to make sure that employee has the on-brand comment to say. You don't want them saying something that they think you do.
Absolutely. I think that is incredibly important to educate your entire team and make sure that they're representing your brand as you want it represented. So, Ed, unfortunately, we're out of time, but I want to make sure that people know how to get a hold of you. What's the best way for people to reach you at the Branding Experts?
Well, I guess the website would be a good place to start because there's an awful lot of information there, free and otherwise, just to get a really good sense of where my head's at. So I would say, again, as you said earlier, it'd be www.thebrandingexperts.ca. And if I could, there's a new book I just come out with called The 101 Branding Tips, and that's available at Amazon. That's another area where I get a lot of my own statements out there and my own beliefs, and people really do resonate with that.
Fantastic. We will look for that on Amazon, and everybody can find you with thebrandingexperts.ca. Ed Roach, thank you so much for being our guest today.
It's great. I can't believe how fast that went.
Yes, it does go incredibly fast, but I so appreciate the fantastic information you were able to share.
Super. Thanks, Erica.
All right. Have a great rest of your day. All right. Thanks so much, Ed. Coming up in round 2, we're going to be talking about Online Marketing 101. You're listening to Punch, Media and Marketing Made Easy, and I'm your host, Erica Taylor Montgomery. This is 1220 AM KDOW.